Crystal Palace, back-to-back defeats for them after a strong start to their season leaves them sitting 8th. Well, Joe, you said it'd be good for them to keep a clean sheet today. It was better than that.
It was a great performance. I thought the back four and the goalie were outstanding. You're limiting Palace to limited opportunities. Jorginho was excellent, not just the penalties. He disciplined, he was talking, having Thiago Silva behind him, moving him around where he's supposed to be. I thought we looked good in the second half. We moved the ball quick. Everything that we wanted to see in the second half, we saw from Chelsea. Fantastic performance. And, you know, the table looks a lot brighter than it did this morning.
Absolutely. And look, Crystal Palace didn't really come here to play expansive football. Wilfried Zaha had less touches than the Chelsea goalkeeper, so it was always going to be tough. Do you feel you understand the way this Chelsea team is heading with these new signings now?
Chelsea. Yeah, well, I do. I think Frank's got an idea of how he wants to play some expansive football, but get the balance right. I think today what was fantastic about the way that they played, and I think Palace probably helped them a little bit in there, they wasn't over-expansive, they didn't open up, but they were very secure in shutting down any counter-attacks, any threats, didn't have any opportunities on goal. That's what I'll be more proud of and happy about if I was Frank. You're nullifying the other team's attacks, but we're showing that we're also a threat at the other end, and the 4 goals will tell you that.
Absolutely. I tell you what, let's hear from Ben Chilwell. What a day for him. A goal, an assist. I'm sure he's got a smile on his face, and he's with Des live right now. Des.
Yes, Ben is certainly smiling. Well, he was. He's just changed his facial expression for us. A lovely way to start your Chelsea career, Ben. Premier League debut, Premier League goal.
Yeah, brilliant team performance. Obviously, very happy with my personal performance, but I think that's just, great for us to start to kick on now. A clean sheet, which we've obviously wanted and spoke about, and 4 great goals as a team. And I like the way that we kept going until the end. We wanted more goals, showed a hunger to press for the whole 90 minutes, and brilliant going into the international break.
You did have a lot of possession in that first half, but without creating much. So there was an element of patience and then changing things at half time. Yeah,
I think like you said there, the first half we were patient, but maybe didn't take quite enough risks in the final third, and the gaffer said to us at half-time that we need to be a bit more creative in the attacking half, and we've got unbelievable talent up there, we need to show it, and second half we did that. And
this is talent that has to bed in and settle into their roles in the team. Are you further along in that transition because you know the Premier League inside out, unlike some of the other recruits?
Yeah, I've not played in any of the other leagues, but I've heard the Premier League's a lot different, so it's going to take a bit of time for them to adjust, and everyone's working hard on the training pitch. And I think if you look at all the boys today, everyone put a shift in, and everyone played really well. So it's starting to bed together well.
So you are looking forward with some excitement. Frank Lampard was saying during the week that he expects Chelsea fans to feel an element of excitement from this side.
Yeah, 100%. I think personally, and talking to the other boys that have come here, the reason that we've all come here is because we think this team can win stuff. And today showed that we're all hungry to win trophies over the next few years. We just need to work hard and keep making performances like today.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Well, that man would have wanted more from his players at half-time, and he got it in the second half, didn't he?
It was an outstanding performance. They just upped the tempo. We said at half-time we thought Crystal Palace looked a bit lacklustre coming out of the thing, and that's a sense you get when you've been in football. I just looked like they thought they might have patted themselves on the back for a decent defensive performance in the first half, but Chelsea come out all guns blazing. Lamps would have got into them, played with more urgency, and they got the job done. It was a fantastic performance.
Big smile on Ben Chilwell's face when he spoke to Des just before the break. We'll have a look at the goal he was involved in that he scored and the assist he got as well now. How important is it when you sign for a club to put in a performance like that, home debut in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think more importantly, a clean sheet, and that's been something that's been hard to come by on a consistent basis for this Chelsea team. And I think what he's done is he's come in, and it seems like it's water off a duck's back to him. Confidence, happy to be on his stage, happy with expectations that are going to be different from what he had at his previous club. But today I thought he was fantastic, and I think in the second half, as Joe said, they upped the tempo going forward, and then once they got in the league, there was only going to be one winner in this game.
I think what he gives you, Reid, doesn't he? His left foot's lovely. It's like Alonso, but I think he's a little bit more astute defensively, and he gives you a little bit more, a bit nous defensively. So I think Chelsea have definitely improved in that area there. But he was outstanding today from start to finish.
We'll have a look at his defending in a short while, but he gives you so much more than just.
Yeah, I mean, this is the
defender.
Ball. The ball comes out to him again, an assist and a goal on your home debut. It's fantastic. But the leap there from Zuma was fantastic. I thought he was very solid today as well. Any bits he had to do, he'd done efficiently and done it very well. And I think it's a fantastic head of that.
Again, we talked before the game, didn't we? It's a fantastic header, but we talked before today, Thiago Silva lifting players around him. And Zuma,
looked better.
He looked better, he looked comfortable, and that was an outstanding header. Again, this is late on. I mean,
if I'm a Palace fan, I'm saying this isn't a penalty.
No, but the thing is, this is the modern day football. You can't get away with nothing. He's tapped him on the shins. Lovely bit of skill from Tammy, who worked hard today. Is it his kneecap? It's contact. It's very harsh. 10 years ago, no chance.
Yeah.
The modern era, it's so difficult for defenders. They've got to stand up. And then Jorginho, I mean, this is outstanding. We love watching him do this. I can't, for the life of me, work out how he does it and how he kids the goalkeeper every single time, but it's fantastic. And you almost, as a penalty, is a guaranteed goal for Chelsea.
What did you make of the conversation before this second penalty was taken, Rio?
A beautiful bit of skill by Havertz there anyway. He was smooth all game, by the way, today. But yeah, that's a definite penalty. But I understand all different people's kind of mindset on this. Tammy, Timo, strikers want to get themselves on the goal sheet. I understand that. I saw Frank do that with Paulo Di Canio at Upton Park when we were playing. But then the captain comes over and says, no, listen, I want the penalty taker to take it, take out all of the and ahhing. The penalty taker's a penalty taker. He takes the ball and then he ends up taking it. I know Tammy looks a bit disgruntled there, upset. He wanted to take it. I understand, but I think you won 4-0, so it won't be too much of an issue in the change room.
I think it's brilliant from Azpilicueta there, because he's dealt with a situation. You know, you don't want your two strikers arguing over a penny when you're 3-0, 4-0 up. It's professionalism, isn't it? Jorginho comes in, dispatches it excellently, like he always does. And I thought Tammy and Tino, it's great, like Rio says, it's great. They're both hungry. They want to get on the score sheet. And I think there's no need to sour a great performance with any negativity. They all did the right thing. Chelsea scored. Chelsea won 4-0, and it's a great day for the club.
And I think the captain diffused the situation, because it could have escalated quite easily.
That's the job. What about the manager's job? He'll be happy as well today. Here's Frank with Des. I like that. Look, we saw how it was dealt with out here. How would it have been dealt with in the dressing room?
I think from Frank's interview there, it's very clear. Tammy, you know who the penalty taker is. Respect that. Thank you. Simple as that.
We've had it here before in Frank's time at Chelsea, issues with penalty takers. It looks like that one's been put to bed. He spoke there, didn't he, about being clear at half-time. He wanted to get Ben Chilwell in the game more. The players obviously listened to him.
Yeah, we had a great aspect from where we're standing. He's right, Frank. Chilwell was arriving into these positions late on, and they wasn't using him enough. You know, what he does is he plays and he follows. He's got great energy, and when he gets there, because his left foot's so good, his delivery's always on the money. I mean, he's going to be such an asset for this club. Here, he's arriving, doesn't need to beat the man, delivers the cross.
The contrast you see from the right back, Azpilicueta today, and Chilwell in terms of timing of getting up the pitch and being the outlet when the ball's transferred from one side of the pitch, which is the right hand side, to the left hand side, was telling today, because we had a great vantage point here. We could see the game. Chilwell gets there when you should be there. Well, Azpilicueta is more defensive minded. You're almost egging him on to get in those positions, and so he's just a natural player in that position in today's modern fullback, who the onus is on them to be the outlet and to be in the attacking third at times, especially in the middle of the park as well. When the ball's coming across, be in them positions to be the outlet, to then start the attack and get balls into the box. And he does it magnificently well. Modern day left back.
Yeah. OK, let's get some more reaction now. Here's the thoughts of Roy.
Roy, you did so much good work in that first half, particularly defensively, but then you were overwhelmed in the second. What happened?
Well, it's what the difference that goals make, of course. Unfortunately, we conceded 4, but all of them really, unfortunately, were very clear individual errors at the back. And when that happens, it's hard to come back from it unless you've got a clear attacking threat. And we didn't have that today. We didn't have that at any stage of the game. I thought that, as you rightly say, in the first half, our defending was good, our off-the-ball work was excellent, but on the ball we didn't show anything like the composure or the confidence that I would have liked the team to show. And against the team that pressurised well, like Chelsea did today, it was always going to be a question of making certain that they didn't score one. And unfortunately, we gifted them a goal after 50 minutes, and to compound everything, we gifted them 2 goals at the end with the 2 penalties.
Why is that? Why was there so few chances? Because for a player like Wilf Zaha, he was practically just isolated with barely a touch in that game.
No, but I mean, to get a touch, you've got to work hard to get those touches for yourself. I mean, the fact is, we were playing against a good team and they made life very difficult. They were very solid defensively themselves, so it was never going to be easy. But it's a harsh scoreline, and it's a scoreline, unfortunately, we can only blame ourselves for.
in the first half, they had a lot of possession, and statistically, I know you love your statistics. The first quarter of the game, you had 18%, and by half time, you'd made it to 27%. But that does put an enormous amount of pressure on the defence and on your players just to hold out.
Yeah, it's where they have the ball, isn't it? I mean, the fact is that in the first half, I didn't think there were many goal chances. So the game's about goals and goal chances, not about how many times you can pass the ball across the back four.
Is this just a bad day at the office and wipe it away, or do you have to rethink something?
You can never wipe things away. You know, there's some poor performances out there today, that's for sure, and the players are more than aware that one or two of them will be looking in the mirror and thinking, I didn't do anywhere near enough or play anywhere near the level that I would like to play at. But unfortunately, these games do happen during the course of a season, and there's nothing you can do but take it on the chin and make certain that you don't allow it to have too big an effect on your confidence. You know, we've had 3 very good games, and I thought the confidence was going to be quite high coming at this game, as I said to you before the match. But unfortunately, the couple of mistakes we made and the fact that we were fighting back from 0-2 fairly on in the second half meant that we are standing here today looking at a heavy defeat.
Thank you, Roy.
Pleasure.
And, you know, he will bemoan the mistakes. He will criticise some of his players who he says will look in the mirror and know they didn't do enough. But the stats tell us that today they didn't manage a shot on target and less than 30% possession. It's a hard watch.
It is a hard watch, and it's difficult because I respect Roy and the way Crystal Palace play. It's just not for me. And for someone like Wilfried Zaha, you know, he'll be looking at it and he'll be massively frustrated. He didn't get on the ball, but the system didn't allow him to get on the ball. Chelsea were good, and you will always have games like that in any kind of forward position, attacking midfield or a striker. You'll have games when the ball doesn't come to you, and for whatever reason, you can make more runs, you give it. But if I'm in Zaha's shoes, the frustration will be mounting because he wants to play expansive football. Imagine you put Zaha in the Brighton team, for example. You know, similar levels. You could argue that Crystal Palace have more talented players, but Zaha would have more opportunities to get in the final third and use his ability. Today we didn't see him, and his frustrations I can understand for a player of his quality to not get on the ball in the final third. But that's the system he's in, and we have to respect it. That's the road that Roy and Crystal Palace are in.
It's hard for someone like Zaha, or not just Zaha, I think all the attacking players. I think we saw Eze and we spoke about him glowingly before the game. But how many times did he really get the ball in and around the final third of and running at the fullback in and around Chelsea's box? Once or twice. And so it makes it so much more difficult. Their attacking players have got to probably run 50 yards every time they get the ball to have a chance of attacking the opponent's goal, which makes it so difficult in that respect and exerting so much energy in that respect as well. And they're having to defend very deep. So the distances they're having to travel with and without the ball to get up the pitch are huge. And it's testing like that. It's difficult.
And the problem is when you're playing like that and you're in the midfield, any of the 4 positions they play, it takes such mental concentration to stay in the right positions. And Chelsea are probing, Chelsea are moving it. And then you win the ball, and then your energy's down, and then you've got to drive 30 yards up the ball. It's a tough position. I've played that position, and I understand the benefits of it, and I also know the difficulties of it. And at the moment, today wasn't a day for Crystal Palace where they could get Zaha's and Eze's on the ball enough, was it?
I think this is the way that Roy Hodgson's teams are set up. I think that we've come to expect that when we see him play. We weren't expecting anything different today. It's just at Old Trafford, they were able to get up the pitch. They were able to get out sometimes when they were sitting back and defending, rolling with the punches. And all of a sudden, once they won the ball, the transition to get through the pitch was a lot easier against Manchester United. That's where I think Chelsea need to credit today, is that they stopped counter-attacks. It's a huge part of their game. Palace are a well-organised team. Let's not forget that. And they showed at Old Trafford they can hurt teams as and when they get the right moments. If you're not secure enough. And Chelsea today were secure.
And let's be clear, while Roy's in charge...
And so they're a club, I think, their fans, their expectations and what they want and what they're asking of their club isn't Europa Champions League. They're saying we want to stay in the league.
Well, they want to be entertained as well.
But Roy Hodgson knows that and deals with that. Listen, at Old Trafford, you're asking for entertainment. There was entertainment last week at Old Trafford from a Crystal Palace perspective. Just today, off day.
Didn't happen. Meanwhile, Frank, he's going to have a smile on his face for the international break. That's just what he wanted.
Do you know what? This is a Rio tell you, like, this game going into the international break, if you lose it, it's disastrous, ain't it? It's horrible. So he's got 2 weeks now. He can put his feet up and just relax, and he can just enjoy
He'd
the win.
be thinking, like we said, what glass tonight?
Yeah.
Red, white,
Lovely.
blush.
Lucky him.
والركلة الخامسة لصالح عناصر تشيلسي أمام هيغو لوريس. يستعد صغير تشيلسي لتنفيذ الركلة من أمام هيغو لوريس.